Hey, you guys, it's Andy here for the Wrestling Lovers. How's everybody doing this fine Saturday morning? Anyway, um, just a little touch up here on some wrestling and stuff like that. Yes, believe it or not, Andy's actually going to do a wrestling review because I actually got a chance to watch Smackdown last night. And I must say, overall, from what I saw, the little bit that I did get to see before the power outage here, I was actually pretty impressed. I actually think the highlight of the entire evening was the Alberto Del Rio and Rey Mysterio match. I thought that was probably one of the most high-paced matches I've seen in quite a long time, actually. I've had a chance to watch stuff like that every now and again, not as often as I used to, like I was saying a while back in the past and things, simply because I'd become disinterested in wrestling, and I mean, it just didn't hold the same magic for me that it used to back in the 70s, 80s, and up to, I guess, mid 90s, late 90s type thing. There was a lot more, I guess back then the storylines were a lot more, they were racial, they were more personal in that, there were more personal attacks, family and things like that, a lot more racial profiling going on in wrestling at that time, I guess. They had a lot of the black teams versus the white teams, things like that, where it wasn't just based on skill, it was based on ethnicity. So that's pretty much why I got out of it at that point. Plus, I found the storylines lacking, and you were concentrating more on what they were saying behind the scenes, like they were showing you what was going on outside wrestling, like who was attacking whose family personally and things like that. And I just thought it was becoming a lot more bogus than anything else. But last night, I actually had a chance to go and take a look at it. I was halfway through the ladies' match right after the Del Rio and Mysterio fight, and unfortunately the power went out here. So that was really all I got to watch. But back onto the topic of Rey Mysterio and everything and Alberto Del Rio, um, I thought the moves were fantastic. I mean, those two brought a pace and a style to the ring that was reminiscent of older days. I mean, it was fast paced, it was moving. Um, I think I only really saw one or two flubs in the whole thing, and I mean, for a match that was going on for the length of time that it was, I think that was actually pretty damn good. I think it's kind of restored, not necessarily restored my faith, but made me more willing to be open to watching more episodes. Maybe I'll start with SmackDown again a little more regularly, and that way I can actually see what kind of a caliber they're bringing out into the world of wrestling nowadays. I mean, if some of the matches are more reminiscent of the older days, then yeah, I think there's a potential hope for wrestling to reestablish itself as a dominant sport in the world right now. Not saying that it's still not widely respected and watched and things like that, but I'm sure a lot of people that have grown up watching it and stuff have seen the decline of the stability of wrestling and the degradation of the individuals that are wrestling in there. I mean, granted, some of the guys weren't the best wrestlers back in the olden days. Like, I mean, Hogan had an electrifying personality, but he was limited in moves, and he wasn't technically one of the best wrestlers out there. Warrior, I mean, the Ultimate Warrior had some of the best moves. He was electrifying. His mic skills weren't the greatest. I mean, it was a lot of grunting, groaning, and screaming, but he had a personality. George Steele, same thing. Loved him on the mic because the guy said very little, but again, his wrestling capabilities were very limited, and his pace wasn't exactly high intensity. But Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio carried it to a whole new dimension last night for me, whereby they held my interest the entire match. I mean, commercials came on, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously? Just keep going here. My hat's off and kudos to those two individuals, because if there were more wrestlers that had that capability in the WWE today, I think it would just it would just bound, upwards and continuously keep going. Um, I'm hoping to have a chance to watch some of the heavyweight matches and things like that. I mean, I understand that Cena and Orton have a match coming up really, really soon as well. A couple of guys were telling me about that, so I'll check that one out as well. I'm going to be honest and forthright about the whole thing. The ladies' match that I watched wasn't all that entertaining because, it was kind of lackluster, I found. But again, my hat's off and kudos to Del Rio and Mysterio for doing such a great job and actually keeping me interested the entire time that this match was going. I mean, these guys really brought a new realm, for me anyway, personally, to professional wrestling. And I mean, like I said, more matches like this, and I'm willing to watch, guys. But anyway, until next time, you guys, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Take care. Peace.